So hey folks, how y'all doing this evening? So recently I put out a little short on a house that I had bought in Temecula, California back in 1994. And by the way, I just want to say that thanks a lot, folks. I got some great comments, got some interesting comments, but I did note there was sort of a general, well, let's say, pessimism of folks thinking about being able to get into the housing market and how they thought getting a house was not in the cards for them. I just wanted to try to set a few things straight here, and maybe things aren't as bad as you think they are.
And for those of you out there who thought things weren't going to get any better, I just wanted to throw this from Realtor.com. It shows a 46-year span of the highs and lows of the real estate market here in the U.S. and particularly in California.
5 years ago, the average cost of a new home in San Diego was $30,000. But by next year, the average cost will be $75,000. And even with all the new construction going on, housing experts agree that more and more people are being priced right out of the housing market. Housing analyst Alan Nevin says they're being priced out because the value of land the homes are on is increasing at nearly 25% a year, and personal income just isn't keeping pace. So next year, home buyers will have to pay between $80,000 and $100,000 for an average single-family home.
The difference between this year and next is that the single-family homes, the traditional home with a yard, is going to be in short supply in the under $80,000 or $90,000 range. Our clients are finding that it's extremely difficult, especially north of Highway 8, to build a home for under $80,000.
How difficult will it be then for people to buy a home, let's say, in the North County?
Extremely difficult, with the exception of a couple of tracts in Mira Mesa. Virtually all North County housing will really be for persons who earn $30,000 a year and up.
So one thing I was trying to make clear on my reply back to some of the comments was the fact that that particular house in Temecula, I had bought it in 1994 as I said, for 140K. I had to sell it 2 years later, so 1996, I had to sell it for 130K because I had transferred back East Coast military stuff. And I bought a house, like many of you, I hope you do the same, buying a house because I needed a home for my family. So I wanted to start this off by saying that I'm not a realtor. Matter of fact, I don't know that much about realty, but what I do know is that I've traveled around this country enough and lived in enough different places, renting and buying, to kind of state the obvious. And frankly, the obvious right now is it's not a great time to buy. One of the things I wanted to reflect on too was if you're single, don't be in such a rush to buy a home. Let's face it, renting can be just as fulfilling when you're single. You don't have to worry about buying a home, maintaining the home, paying the monthly mortgage. Yeah, you have to pay rent, but you're not paying to fix the place. That's your landlord's responsibility. So don't get all bent out of shape the fact that you can't buy a home while you're single. I mean, it's a big investment, let's face it. And you don't want to just jump arbitrarily into it or look at it like it's a big bank account that, hey, now you've got a home that's worth a bunch of money. And frankly, you're going to be sitting on it for a while before you can turn around and sell that thing. I didn't even contemplate buying a home till after I got married. And frankly, it wasn't until we had kids because we had to save up some money to buy the home initially. And in my case, because of the military, I was able to use a VA loan to help with the down payment. So that made it a little bit easier for us. But nonetheless, wasn't even thinking about buying a home till we were approaching having the kids. That I mentioned earlier about the place I bought in Temecula. My wife, before I met her, had bought a home in the early 90s and paid 160 for it. She had saved up a good part of her adult life to come up with the down payment, the 20% when she bought that. So she bought hers in the early 90s, I say 1990, for 160,000. I'll throw it up here in the video so you can see what it looks like. Until we sold it for 315, and then we used that as a down payment for a bigger house we bought because our family was growing. We had 4 kids, 2 of mine and 2 of hers. So yeah, we needed a bigger place. And selling that house, we rolled the equity from that house sale in this house here in San Diego into the place we bought back east, and it went off from there. So again, this was a means to an end in the sense that we wanted a home for our family. That same house that my wife had purchased back in 1990 is worth about $1 million. I'll show you the Zillow shot up here. Is it worth $1 million? I don't know. It's a 1,000 square foot home. It's not in very good shape and built in '73, and not much been done to it. Would I pay $1 million? If it was up to me, I wouldn't. It's not worth it. I'd be looking somewhere else. But hey, to each his own. So again, I wouldn't do it. And if you're in any kind of financial situation where you're questioning about whether or not you can afford something or not, you probably shouldn't do it either. Live the best life you can right now, and things will fall into place. And let's face it, if you have a goal and you work really hard to achieve that goal, then maybe that's buying a house, it'll happen. That's my 2 cents worth. I wish you all the best. Stay focused, stay safe. Out here for now.